Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about a special topic, the power of insensitivity. This book was written by Japanese author Junichi Tobi. I read it a long time ago. And although many years have passed, I have never reopened this book. However, his core idea remains deeply ingrained in my mind. In every moment of life and work, I always remind myself to practice and embody the spirit of insensitivity. What is insensitivity? Simply put, it is when a person focuses more on themselves instead of the outside world. Focusing on their own feelings rather than clinging to the judgments of others. Let go of the ego and find your true self. Simply put, people with strong insensitivity have a bit of shamelessness. And this thick skin often requires a big heart and stable emotional support. Insensitive people have thicker skin. But thick skin does not necessarily equate to strong insensitivity. Thick skin does not mean working without limits or principles. On the contrary, thick skin is a true expression of a person's inner strength. I am a very sensitive person. I have experienced the supreme happiness that sensitivity brings. But also because of sensitivity, I easily exaggerate negative emotions. In my opinion, sensitivity is an ability, but you must understand that nothing in this world is immune to the tide. Profits or losses every month can be affected. Therefore, mastering sensitivity is very important. This requires nurturing the theory of insensitivity, also known as the power of insensitivity, and calmly facing the failures and pains in life. Don't be too sensitive. It is important to be calm and not overreact. Today's society is a society full of stress. Love encounters problems. The workplace is like sitting on pins and needles. And interpersonal relationships are not easy. All kinds of stress are like blood viruses, gradually eroding people's health. Therefore, having the power of insensitivity is extremely important. The power of insensitivity is like a lubricant for life, a lever for harsh reality. Before we continue, don't forget to follow the money path and hit the little bell. We will continue to reveal the truths about money to help you achieve financial freedom quickly. The theory of the power of insensitivity. Deliberately being insensitive is a talent. A result that allows human talent to develop, encouraging great power. I completely agree with this. Look around. People who can do great things mostly have a spirit like Forrest Gump. A rare spirit of recklessness. Don't lose the big things for small things. The reason I think about the power of insensitivity again is because I have recently witnessed it more and more often. I have heard all kinds of workplace stress and rock-bottom relationships. Recently, a friend of mine told me that his boss's Friday assistant had just resigned in the middle of the month. I had a chat with this friend to understand his boss's personality. He is definitely the kind of person who is easily irritable and impatient. Talking to his assistant without any pity. Even in public, he can order his assistant in many ways. Of course, I strongly oppose workplace PUA. But I also think about it from another perspective. If you are sensitive to so-called criticism and care about it, then the impact of criticism on you will be very devastating. As you can imagine, how much he was hurt, how his psychology was shadowed. The theory of the power of insensitivity. If a person has the ability to possess insensitivity without being disturbed by small things, being flexible and sharp, they will become a true talent. Only then can people show their talents and become winners. Actually, I think of my boss, whom I admire very much. His work puts him under a lot of pressure, and he also often has direct contact with his superiors. You know, being strong means you have more capital to allow emotions to explode. I aimed at that last time, and then my boss's reaction always taught him to be strong. If he is strong, the wind blows over the hills. He goes everywhere. The moonlight shines on the river. He is very sensitive, can hear every hint from his boss. But he is also very insensitive. No matter what you say, he doesn't care. The next day, he is still full of energy and surrounds his boss as if nothing is wrong. My boss has a very strong insensitivity. I think this is why he regards him as a close friend. In addition to his psychological ability, my boss's physical strength is still very good. Younger colleagues than him all suffer from health-related diseases, including me. Only the last time I ate deliciously, laughed loudly, ate deliciously and happily, my health checkup reports were all easily passed. The prerequisite is that he really doesn't exercise much. The theory of the power of insensitivity is very important for health. Let the blood in your body always circulate smoothly. So don't always think about the past or the future. No matter what others say, that is not easy to hear. Listen and then forget it immediately. This useful insensitivity is an important reason for helping blood circulate smoothly. My boss has good health because his slogan is, "Don't think too much. Live your own life." Does this keep the blood in his body circulating smoothly? What is the secret to long-term smooth blood circulation? My boss is really a good example for me. Lin Ching Swan, a writer I admire very much. His slogan has always been, "Think about something because life is unsatisfactory 9 times out of 10. I will remember this sentence for a long time. What are the characteristics of people with the power of insensitivity? First, they don't care about the judgments of others. An insensitive person, when working and making decisions, will focus more on their own feelings and interests, not caring what others think of them. They only focus on themselves, doing what needs to be done right now. Just like what Haruki Murakami wrote, not all fish live in the same ocean. Others are a separate world from you. Your life has nothing to do with others. What is even more ironic is that when you are in trouble, there will be people who pretend to sympathize with you. And when you encounter good things, they will become uncomfortable as if their cat's tail has been stepped on. Second, they have a more stable mood. Jun Watanabe mentions in the book, The Power of Insensitivity, that although the power of insensitivity sometimes makes people become dull, bringing a negative image of dullness, insensitivity is the means and wisdom to gain a better life. These people will have a slower reaction when something happens, will slow down a bit, and when encountering trouble, they will react a little slower. When encountering conflict or arguing, they will respond slowly. They will patiently endure. In the first 90 seconds, emotions will gradually subside. Impatient people often act within the first 90 seconds. The more they think, the angrier they become. The more they think, the more they increase their anger. So they act irrationally. As for those with the power of insensitivity, their reflexes are longer, less sensitive, less anxious, not too impatient, and also less mischievous. Third, they are very forgetful. People with the power of insensitivity do not hold grudges. In other words, even if they are angry at the time, when there is a delicious meal, they will quickly become happy again. They don't keep worries in their hearts. Don't care about people who don't care about them. These people seem a bit careless, but many times they are more likely to succeed. How to become an insensitive person? First, ignore the focusing effect. What is the focusing effect? That is when you think you are the center of the world, the focus of everyone's attention. You think everyone is paying attention to you, but in reality, you are not that important in the eyes of others. What you wear, what you say, what you do, your impression in the eyes of others will quickly be erased by time. People easily forget. Maybe at that time I regarded you as a topic of conversation. We'll look at you a little more, but not long after, you will be forgotten in some corner. To improve insensitivity, you must understand that you are not that important in the eyes of others. In this world, besides your parents, lover, and children, are there any other people you care about? Second, be more patient. If you can't do it right the first time, then do it again. If you don't succeed in a test, then continue studying. If you can't learn it the first time, then try again. Be more patient. Slow down a bit. The more hasty you are, the easier it is to make mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the more worried you become. The more worried you are, the easier it is to fall into a dead end of emotions. Third, separate yourself from other people. Stay away from bad people because bad people only affect you and prevent you. Stay away from petty people because those people only envy you and try to harm you. Don't care about other people's opinions. You must ask yourself, they don't pay me. I don't depend on them to earn a living. What they do has anything to do with me. If they are strong, then let them be strong. The wind blows over the hills. They want to do whatever they want. The moonlight shines on the river. What they do is not important. What is important is what you think. You must respect your own feelings, perceptions, and needs. You must separate yourself from the outside world to find your true life. Fourth, ignore the noise. This era has too much noise. The sounds from the internet constantly come out, affecting our values and judgments. Paying too much attention to the outside noise makes us feel anxious and insecure. I think the best way is not to be caught up in the dense flow of information on your phone. Continuous information will make us become insensitive. Watching it all day is even more tiring than working because the liver and blood are depleted. Focus your precious energy on important things. On the contrary, this will replenish your chi and blood. So remember that outside noise is only for reference. If you are not happy, don't refer to them. Living is living truthfully with yourself. For unimportant voices, block them. Use your senses on the people and things that matter when communicating. You don't need to worry about what others think of you. Slow down, and you will live happier than before. Fifth, get rid of being sensitive and over-analyzing. I don't know if anyone has the habit of guessing other people's thoughts. Maybe it's because of someone's unintentional words that make you think for a long time and overthink everything. After a few random thoughts, worries become more and more in your heart, only adding trouble to yourself. In fact, guessing other people's thoughts easily leads to internal conflict and easily goes astray to extremes just because of guessing. How to guess other people's thoughts? Then don't guess anymore. Don't think too much. But ask directly, are you sad today? Is it because I said something wrong? Believe me, when you ask, the stone in your heart will fall or change your mind. Instead of focusing on others without a good reason, it is better to blur your own emotions. Put your mind on yourself, and you will find that you are truly happy this way. However, this kind of insensitivity is not insensitivity. It is a kind of ease. Not being disturbed by the outside world. Truly comfortable when you can feel at peace. A calm attitude to life. So every time I find myself starting to overthink, I will force myself to shift my attention and do something else. Gradually, I will truly find that I live very freely and comfortably because nothing can hurt me. Nothing is worth me being sad because most people and things will not get into my heart. I don't care at all. 6th, it's your business. Someone once said that many problems in life can be solved with just these 2 sentences. This is not related to you. And this is not related to me. Although this sounds simple and crude, the reason behind it is very profound. It reminds us that in life, we should focus on our own feelings and perceptions because this is the key to achieving what our hearts desire. This way of thinking is very suitable for the concept that the power of insensitivity proposes. The power of insensitivity, as its name suggests, is the intervention and evaluation from the outside world that brings a sudden feeling. It allows us to focus more on our inner world and personal development. In modern society, we often face pressure and expectations from the outside. These external factors often make us feel anxious and insecure. But if we have enough power of insensitivity, we can better protect our inner world and not be affected by outside noise. Insensitivity also means a kind of balance of mind and awareness of self-worth. When we realize that we don't need to worry too much about other people's evaluations, we can confidently be ourselves. This does not mean that we have to become insensitive. It means learning how to act at important times. Speaking up for our thoughts and feelings. We must dare to express ourselves and stand firm, even though this can sometimes be contradictory to others. An important part of practicing insensitivity is learning how to distinguish what is worth our attention and what needs to be ignored. When we can do this, we can reduce unnecessary attachments and worries, thereby focusing our energy on things that really matter. This way of thinking not only helps us develop personally but also helps us achieve better results in our careers and relationships. 7th, build self-confidence. In the past, I really liked comparing myself with others. Not only me but even my parents liked comparing me with other children. So since childhood, I have lived in the shadow of other children. From studying, career to love, I always feel that they are better than me. Looking back at myself, I feel like a failure. This comparison is very easy to make us feel worried. And when worried, it is easy to consume mental energy. But in reality, this is not necessary. Why let others decide what you have to do when you are 20 years old? What you have to do when you are 30 years old? To what extent the destination of all of us is ultimately just a box? Does your life come to this world just to copy the lives of others? If life is a game, you play King of Glory. I play PUBG. Who can compare with whom? There are people who have given up their stable career at the age of 30 to travel around the world. Some people quit their jobs at the age of 40 to study abroad. And some people are very successful at the age of 50. but unfortunately passed away due to illness. So everyone has their own rhythm of life. Understand what is most important to you. Follow your own path. Live with your own rhythm. Don't worry too much. Don't compare blindly with others. Focus on yourself, free from external interference. As long as you compare yourself with yourself yesterday, become better and stronger than last year. You have succeeded. Always remind yourself who you are. What others say is not important. You are only alone in this world. You are yourself, the only copy of yourself. 8th, panoramic vision. When you find yourself engrossed in a small problem, ask yourself, in 5 years or 10 years, will this problem really have a big impact on me? This question helps us look at the problem from a long-term perspective, helping us understand that in the context of life, the current problems or worries may not be as important as we think. This way of thinking helps us enlarge the current problem and shrink its size to fit the reality of life. In reality, we often over-focus on small things in front of our eyes without being able to see what is more important. By narrowing our vision, we can assess the importance of the problem more accurately. This not only helps us manage emotions but also improves our problem-solving ability. In addition, this way of thinking also reminds us that grasping the situation requires time and patience. In life and work, we often face challenges that require long-term effort and persistent attention. By maintaining patience, we can calmly and strategically solve challenges, ultimately achieving our goals. In general, expanding our vision not only helps us understand and better handle current problems but also creates a solid foundation for long-term success. This is why we need to maintain a macro view and why patience and time are essential factors in pursuing goals. 9th, usually, we find it difficult to find direction in life. Why do we feel sensitive and too empathetic? It is because we care too much about the evaluation of outsiders about ourselves. It seems that only when the outside world gives positive feedback do we feel motivated. But relying on external evaluation to motivate our lives is not okay because it makes us lose self-control and lose direction. A life without goals is often unmotivated and easily falls into a state of blindness or doing nothing. Therefore, finding a direction in life is extremely important. Always ask yourself what kind of person you want to become and write down all your goals. The next step is to perform subtraction, eliminating less important goals until only the most important goal remains. This often reflects your deepest desires. When we have a clear direction and strive for it, we will no longer depend on the evaluation of outsiders to find motivation. This way of living will help us move forward more calmly and confidently through internal motivation. We can steadfastly follow our own path, achieve true personal development and a sense of satisfaction. 10th, when others accuse us of being too sensitive or give negative evaluations, it is important to remain calm. Any extreme reactions only reflect our inner instability and weakness. When facing such criticism, the first thing to do is to examine ourselves to see if there is anything right in that assessment. If there is, we should accept and learn from it. If not, we need to remain calm and express our views firmly. Managing emotions is a challenge that everyone needs to face. When emotions change, try applying the method of mental withdrawal, temporarily leaving the current situation. Observing your own reactions and behaviors from an objective perspective. This method helps us understand our emotional state more clearly and manage them more effectively. In relationships, especially in love, friendship, and family, lowering expectations of others is also an important emotion management strategy. Too high expectations easily lead to disappointment and dissatisfaction. Learn to accept everyone and everything as they are, without being too pushy. This can help reduce unnecessary psychological burden and make life easier and happier. At the same time, build a positive social circle. People with optimistic and positive personalities have strong execution ability, are generous and helpful, emotionally stable and full of energy, will have a positive impact on us. They will help us build a healthier and more effective lifestyle. Finally, remember that the journey of life is a process of self-discovery and realization. Through continuous learning and development, we can become stronger, more confident, and better equipped to face the challenges in life.